everyone, welcome back to Future Scott Friday. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your other host, Nor. This week, we're going to be chatting with one of our IPHS professors, Dr. Karen Ball. Welcome, Dr. Ball. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to get to talk to you today. To start things off, could you just tell us a little bit about your role at Alma and how long you've been with the college?
I'm a faculty member in Integrative Physiology and Health Science. I am also the current chair of that department right now. I have been at Alma in a teaching position for 25 years, but my association with the college goes back long before that. I did my undergraduate degree here, but actually my connection to Alma came even prior to that. My oldest brother is also an Alma alum, and he was a music education major while he was here.
Man, it just runs in the family.
Yes, it does.
I think it's so fun that so many staff and faculty members also are alumni.
So with IPHS, can you describe the major and its opportunities?
We look at health and human function from multiple perspectives. We look at health and human function from the cellular and molecular level. We look at health and human function from the whole human level. And then we also look at health at the whole population level through our public health offerings. And that is actually a really unique approach for a department like this. We expose our students to the study at every single one of those levels. The importance of studying health and human function at all of those levels is that we end up producing graduates that when they become health professionals, they will take a very different approach to their professional work. They will also understand their role in helping to maintain the overall health of the community.
That's really interesting.
Could you tell us what the Pre-Health Professions Committee is?
When you come to Alma, as you both know, you're assigned an academic advisor. And that academic advisor is going to play a significant role in your professional development. What the Pre-Health Professional Committee does is it serves as an additional resource for pre-health professional students. And our role is to work with students during their entire 4 years to guide them in their professional development, with the final outcome being successful admission into the graduate and professional programs or successful acquisition of gap year experiences if they decide to take some time off between Alma and the graduate programs, or to work with our students to help them find appropriate employment if that's a direction that they want to go.
That's really nice how there's this committee just the whole way through. I'm just curious, going like off of something that you said, kind of shaping like some kind of art major with health. For instance, would that be like maybe like music therapy? Like, is that something that you could do?
Sure, you could. There are graduate programs out there in music therapy, and we have had some students who have actually pursued that. We've also had students who have been science majors, and they've combined that with dance, and they have gone on to do dance therapy. And that's another direction that students can pursue.
That's really, really cool.
As an alum, could you tell us a bit about what made you decide to come back to Alma and teach?
Yeah. You know, I've kind of come full circle. When I left Alma and was getting ready to head into my graduate work, I had such an amazing experience that for me at that time, the ideal would have been to come back and to teach at Alma. And I actually remember at the time the department chair, Dr. Charlie Gray, we were doing exit interviews, and he would always ask the graduating seniors, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I looked him straight in the eye and I said, I want your job, Dr. Gray. And, he kind of, he almost fell out of his seat, actually. He was laughing so hard. And I think he probably thought, my God, we've created a monster here. The time that I was making that decision that I wanted to be in a small liberal arts institution like Alma, the Alma position opened up. And it was just, it has been, I think, the greatest blessing of my life.
I find it interesting. I think out of all the people we've talked to who have been Alma alum, you might be the only one that like knew you were gonna come back like as a student. You're like, yep, I'm meant to be here. I'm coming back. And I just find that really interesting. Do you have a favorite memory as an Alma student?
You know, when there are so many memories, and what I think about though is that all of those memories focus on individuals and individual relationships. When I really think of one that stood out, because I think it also told me an awful lot about what I was going to experience in the subsequent 4 years, it was my initial meeting with my academic advisor. I had been assigned to Dr. Gray, and Dr. Gray was the longtime chair of the department. And let's just say I was one of these first year students coming in who I was a shy kid. Most people can't believe that now because I never stopped talking and I love to stand up in front of my classes. But when I came in, I was really, really shy. And the idea that my advisor was the department chair was absolutely terrifying to me. I was so intimidated. And I walk into his office then to talk about classes for the first semester. And at one point he realized, well, this is a real problem because this English 101 class is preventing you from doing this other course. So he said, you know what? I'm looking at your scores. I'm looking at your high school grades. I'm looking at your ACT score. You know what? I don't think you should have to take English 101, the composition class. You're a strong writer. Let me call the chair of the English department and see if he can do something about this, right? So he picks up the phone. Joe, this is Charlie. And I've got a student here who I'm trying to get her on a highly scientific curriculum, plan of courses. And so, you know, she's got really strong background in English. I really would like to ask you to waive that requirement for English 101. There's silence for a few seconds. And then the next thing you know, Charlie just starts laughing. And if you don't know him, he had this laugh that could actually fill the entire Hogan Center. And he just roars about this. And he said, okay, thank you. And he hung up the phone. And he looked at me and he said, Dr. Supfin's response was, get her on a highly humanities curriculum. So I just never forget that because in part, I think it was a good recognition that this was not a place that you were going to spend your life studying the sciences. This was a place that you were going to be expected to broaden your horizons. And that turned out to be the best thing ever for me. But the other thing, and the other reason I come back to that story, and I remember that a lot, is because it also told me, believe it or not, even as this silly, naive first-year student, it told me that there are relationships between the faculty. Those relationships are very important, and those relationships are going to be used for the benefit of students.
So outside of Alma, do you have any hobbies? Like, what do you like to do for fun besides science?
I would say the two big hobbies that I have are reading and traveling. I'm one of these individuals. Actually, I married a colleague, Dr. Furlong, who is in the history department. It has been passionate about travel. And so the two of us, we usually take time every summer to take one international trip. And Dr. Furlong does all of he's my personal travel agent, I guess you could say. And we find those places that aren't typically the places that most tourists would go. And so travel is definitely a passion. And that travel together with reading, I would say, has enriched my life in a way that I never would have expected.
So we have a game. This is more of a series of questions that we fire at you. And you don't really have to explain them, but you just kind of give us your answer.
Okay.
We call it Alma this or that. So your first question is Sac or Dow?
Dow.
Starbucks or Highland Blush?
Starbucks.
Rec center or weight room?
Rec Center.
Highland chicken or popcorn chicken?
Highland chicken.
Bagpipes or Highland dance?
Oh. Highland dance.
Football game or basketball game?
Oh, basketball. I played basketball.
Serendipity or Cold Stone?
Serendipity.
Galston or Brusky?
Brusky. I lived in Brusky for 4 years. Sorry.
Finally, Pizza One or Pizza Sam's?
Pizza Sam's. You have to understand, Pizza One was not here when I was a student.
True.
Right?
Okay, fine.
You have memories to Pizza Sam's.
Exactly. It was only Pizza Sam's, and actually Pizza Sam's and Little Caesars were the only pizza places in town. And Pizza Sam's would deliver to the dorm, and you could call with your order, and it would be delivered to your dorm in 10 minutes.
All right. Well, that is all that we have for you today. Thank you so much again for joining us and chatting with us. And I'm excited for our hopefully future Scots to get to hear a little bit about IPHS.
Great. Thanks so much, you two. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, of course. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Great. Bye.
Bye.
And as always, future Scots, don't forget to follow the Instagram or the Facebook, or look us up on our website below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in next week for our holiday episode. Nor can't wait for it.
I can't.
And as always, go Scots.
Go Scots.